I'm Puerto Rico. I was born in Puerto Rico. I started playing percussion instruments very early at the age of 5. My uncle, of course, my family, they're all musicians for the most part. My grandfather made, he was a luthier. He made guitars, mandolins.
Wow.
Oh, cool.
And also, that's where my musical journey actually started. I started off as a drummer, as a percussion player, studying percussion. Then at the age of about 13, I moved to Atlanta where my drums were stolen.
Great.
Stolen.
How about that? Yeah.
Welcome to Atlanta.
Absolutely, yeah.
A.T.L.
All the players play.
I used to hang out at over there on the south side, 2000 South. I don't know if some of the younger people might not know, but that was the main jazz place on the south side of town.
He looks 20, but I promise he's not.
Yeah, thanks. And that's where it all started. Then I went to studying guitar, and piano. Then I stepped up to the piano in the early 80s with the salsa bands. They were always looking for piano players, and I kind of just started. I just went from there, and I continued to study. I went in I went back into the military and to the Army School of Music. Spent some time there. Went to Panama. Spent some time there, and then back to Puerto Rico where I played with the local salsa bands. What else? New Orleans. I did 3 years in New Orleans.
He said that like he did time.
Yeah.
I did 3 years in New Orleans.
New Orleans is quite unique. I recommend any musician, if you get the opportunity to work and live as a musician in New Orleans, that you do. It's a great learning experience. It's totally different.
Talk to me a little bit about this Latin flavor, because we're getting a lot more of it now, and it's almost as if the music that we needed to have is like emerging back into the system and adapting itself to the populace. Tell me about, that sounded like really political. Tell me a little bit about Latin music and the culture of Latin music that Atlanta is about to experience.
Well, Atlanta is very diverse as far as Latin music goes. Over the years, I can say when I first got to Atlanta, when I went to high school here, there was only 2 Hispanics in the school. It was my sister and I.
LA, my school.
There was very little Latin music being played. There was, I think, in the 80s and like the early 80s, we got one salsa band that came up, and then another one towards the 90s. But now there's a huge community of Latin folks from all over Latin America, not just Mexico, but Colombia. There's a big Colombian organization here.
Lots of
lots of Venezuelans, aside from Puerto Rico, Central America, and what they bring their style of Latin music. The style that I bring is Afro-Cuban music, Afro-Caribbean, which is what I specialize in. There's other styles of Latin, like Colombian cumbia and Venezuelan. There's also a huge community here from Peru, and they all love. But the bottom line is they all love all Latin music, and any type of music. So
now, see, my question is, how do you differentiate a lot of that? Yeah, the styles. How is it considered different?
The Afro-Cuban music from Puerto Rico, which came through like New York, the Channel Pulse, or in the Latin jazz scene back in those days in the 40s with Digital SP, Channel Pulse or Mongo Santa Maria and those guys. That type of music is pretty much what evolved into what we call it the salsa music. The salsa players left Puerto Rico, went to New York, and got exposed to more jazz, and that's where all that flavor in New York, as far as Latin jazz, started coming together. But I can also say that also in Cuba, even before that, they were already playing it there.
I see.
Because the Cubans were able to hear the jazz stations.
But we were just cut off from Cuban influence.
Well, after Castro, yeah, but before Castro, you had quite a bit of American and Italian, influence coming in, because that's where all the, casinos were.
I got you.
The communist takeover.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
so
knowledge.
I'm going to go into a song, Killer Joe.
Okay.
Introduce this for me.
Killer Joe is a song that I did. That's my version of it. I turned it into an Afro-Cuban rhythms, the bass, the percussion, and the piano, and then I used a four guitar, which is I overdubbed this instrument. That's what you're going to sound. It sounds kind of like a mandolin, but it's not. It's what my grandfather used to make those instruments. So I dubbed that into the mix with the piano, the percussion, and the bass. So it fits perfectly into 2/3 clave. A lot of the standard jazz tunes, swing tunes, a lot of them really fit well with Afro-Cuban rhythms.
And you played all this? You played it all on this?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm sorry.
I like Latin music because you can dance to it, and it's fun all the time. And there's some of it that's a little less fun, but it's more fun.
I love all music.
It is fun.
Yeah.
You play Latin music.
Yeah.
You guys should do a duet one day.
Can't help but move to it.
Okay, I'm going to go into Killer Joe. Nelson Ramos. Son Jazzy. You're on Go Live with Cairo Qween, Collabo Live 106.5 FM, Jody Mayfield.
Oh, that's right. You're on the air tonight.
And you are too.
Wow. So I'm driving my car. Something said, some type of diabolical, controversial, world-ending subject. I know she's going to be...
Yes, jazz. I have a house full of people. I'm here with Bo-Micadelic, Kenee Maree, and James Thunder Higgins just left, and they're going to be at the stage for Sweet Auburn Festival. So is Jody Mayfield. Jody's going to be there on Friday, the 18th. That's this Friday at... Okay, he doesn't know. At 6 p.m. on Friday. And then I have Nelson Ramos from SonJazzy. I love you.
Hold on, you got the great Nelson Render
Ramos.
over there?
No,
Nelson Ramos?
Ramos.
Oh, you
Latin
big time.
jazz. Afro-Cuban.
Yeah, you big time now.
What are you talking about? I'm joking. Jody, how are you?
I'm doing just fine.
Jody, Jody was thinking about me in his car. He was like, you know what? The girl's crazy. Let me call her. So, thank you for calling, Jody. I'll call you after the show's over, okay?
All right, bye.
Love ya. Guess what? I have the Saxophonist of the Year, in addition to Mace Hibbert, in addition to Dwan Bosman, in addition to how many other artists that I know that are fantastic. My best friend in the whole world, Shy Guy himself, Brian Hogans. Yay!
All right. Yeah.
Where's your sax?
My saxophone is at home.
Oh, I was so ready. I was ready.
CD.
But live, you know live is better. Anyway, whatever.
Better, both.